Danger. Boss this a third way.
The title of this selection is Preface, and I suppose to give you a little preview of what is to come in the book. There are literally protocols to follow, a formal to adhere to, appropriate words to use, an acceptable sign, an acceptable length to work within, all these rules to follow. But how do I do that? What is the protocol? What I'm about to do now? How are you supposed to write a preface when your co-author is in jail, charged with double murder without being granted the human right to get bail? What are the rules concerning that? Are you supposed to pretend it is not happening, or do you acknowledge it and let the reader know how you truly feel? I mean, the irony is glaring. Adi is one of the most recognizable persons in Jamaica, and his visa woes are well known, yet he is not able to secure bail when with what little knowledge I have of the justice system, the key determinant of bail eligibility is the likelihood of the accused not turning up for trial. Now really, where is Vybz Kartel going to hide in Jamaica? Or how many would not recognize him at the port? Well, I admit I do not have the strong and will determination like Adidja Palmer. When I last visited him, he told me, "Don't worry, MD, man and a girl guide, man a soldier." And the confidence thinker I'm used to. Understand? Long before we wrote this book, Adi explained to me the fear he had of the police. In fact, the first email he ever sent to me explained that he felt they were out to get him. This is one of the things we have in common due to my childhood experiences with the police. He reminded me of the cry of police brutality by Pure Tosh, the unsolved murders of Biggie, Tupac, and the seemingly endless stories of the demise of those who stood up to Babylon. He simply had a premonition that he was next. This book has been done for nearly a year, and we kept waiting for the right time. After his arrest, I naturally felt this book would never be printed because it is the biggest attack against Babylon since Pure Tosh's last album. We both know Babylon does not take attacks on them lightly. Go ask Aristide, Castro, or Mugabe. If Adi had a fear of Babylon before being incarcerated, imagine when things in this book are revealed. What is going to happen to him then? I sent Adi a message that we can wait until he's out to publish the book. How are you going to write things critical of the police and expect them to be impartial? They are only human. The response I got from him was that he wants to move full speed ahead and let the chips fall where they may. Yes, he may be incarcerated, but his cry on behalf of ghetto people will not be silenced. Please do not think for a second that Adi wants to be viewed as a martyr or as one sacrificing his life for the ghetto. No. To be clear, he's just a ghetto youth angry at society for what it has done to poor people. He recognizes he has a voice and he's using it. Of course, I have concerns of my own safety, for that of my family and the persons who worked on this book with me. As an African of Jamaican birth, I act in the tradition of my people who draw on the strength of their ancestors. I remember Marcus Garvey saying that we as black men must stand up for that which is right and not to be afraid of the consequences. Well, I am no Adidja Palmer, and I'm certainly not even worthy to carry the soles of Marcus Garvey's shoes. But I'm going to ensure that this book is published on behalf of every voiceless person in the ghetto. Every person who has been denied a job because of their inner city address. Every young girl forced to sleep with her boss just to keep her job. Every woman who's treated like a gal in the corporate offices in Jamaica just because she is poor. Every child who bears scars from years of hearing how ugly they are because of how black their skin is or how big their nose is. Every youth in lockup because he can't find the right lawyer or bail money. Every person who has to use the bathroom in a scandal bag and is called a squatter. Every man treated like a boy just because he mows the lawn or washes the cars of the rich. I take the risk of publishing this book because of them, with the hope that Jamaica and the powers that be will be forced to listen to the ghetto people after this. Unlike society, I do not blame you for your circumstances. I do not look down on you because you have no running water, or you can't find school uniforms for your children, or you have to live in darkness because there's no money to pay the electricity bill. There's no shame on you. The shame, the disgrace, the dregs of society, in my opinion, is the majority of the individuals that sit in Parliament and allow this to happen. The blemish on Jamaica is those who allow big corporations to come into Jamaica, charge poor people fees they cannot afford, and whisk off billions to their home countries, while poor Jamaicans suffer in deplorable living conditions, unable to afford the basic necessities of life. The nasty people of Jamaica are not the ones who do not have water to bathe or flush the toilet, but are the ones who make their water system inaccessible to the poor. So it is for you, for all of you, that I read this book, the voiceless who have been victimized. As I deal with my own fear of repercussions, I can only apologize to my family and loved ones for the ridicule that may come to them. On slavery days, we were taught to be good niggas, not to be messing with massa or fight the house niggas. In today's society, the ones in Parliament. But I am about to break that rule. For nearly 40 years, it has been pent up in me. And when I saw Adi's bravery, when I heard his music, I felt it was time. My children, Kyla, Michael, Jr., and Joshua, I want to remind you of the letter that Che Guevara wrote to his children. I'll borrow from him his words and say the same to you as an attempt to explain why Daddy took this risk. Your father is a man who acts as he thinks best, and who has been absolutely faithful to his convictions. Your father is a man who acts as he thinks best, and who has been absolutely faithful to his convictions. Above all, be sensitive in the deepest areas of yourself to any injustice committed against whomever it may be in the world. A big kiss from Daddy. May Rastafari guide and keep you always. I'll always be at peace that you are blessed with the best mother and grandmother that one could ever have. Many people have wondered how this improbable collaboration came about. How could someone who's known Garveyite collide with the Bleacher to write a book? How can someone who was nominated for U.S. Congressional Medal of Distinction be affiliated with someone who cannot get a U.S. visa? How did my Campion background find common ground with the Gaza? I will explain. I first met Adi in 2007 through Ryan Gary Braithwaite, aka Gary Exodus, who asked that I sponsor through our company's People Telecom a peace initiative that Adi had in Port More. Reluctantly, I did, because the music that I heard from Vybz Kartel at the time was not to my liking. Gary knows that I and Rastafari, and I stay away from certain things. However, at the event, we exchanged courteous salutations, and I remember commenting to my crew at the time. I was taken aback by how extraordinarily well-mannered Vybz Kartel was. Not at all what I experienced with other DJs. We did business again in 2009 and had our first meeting on Sunday night at Gary's house. It lasted for nearly 2 hours, 1 hour and 59 minutes, to which were spent talking about his kids, his ambition for their education, and society's ill. In fact, he started the conversation that was to be about a concert by asking what it would take for his children to get into Campion. He then went on to explain how he intended to set up their village. He then went on to explain how he intended to set up their college fund and create a financial security for them and the rest of his family. I wasn't as taken aback this time, because by then I had heard $, Mama, and music, Them No Like We, etc. I realized that Adi was reluctant to admit that deep down he realized he had the gift of being a lyricist and the ability to put it on a dancehall rhythm like no one else had. He feared, however, my observation, that being known as a conscious artist gave him a label that he did not want. Later on, things became a lot different. During his interaction with Carolyn Cooper, he realized that what he had to say was more important than any song. Out of that realization and our discussion, the voice of the Jamaican Ghetto, Gaza, if you prefer, was born in. If I had one word to describe Adi, I would say comedic, because I have never known another person who had start your interaction each day with a joke. He is, however, more than that. As we worked on the book together, I saw he had a mastery of ghetto philosophy. Once he was explaining to our researcher, teacher, and me how he handles all the scrutiny and criticism. He told us about his grandmother explaining that if a tree had no mangoes, people would walk by it and complain that nothing now go on for the tree there. But as soon as the tree started to bear fruit, people would stone it, climb it, get a stick and pull on it just to get what it had. As soon as they were done using the tree for food, his grandmother explained further, they would turn around and curse the tree again, but would always stop cursing it while the tree was feeding them. So, he sees his life like that, a mango tree. No one cared when he was an upcoming DJ, but once he made it, sticks and stones and yes, bottles have come after him. Of course, those benefiting from the achievements were his best friends for a while. But if they saw a new tree, or he refused to stop giving handouts, the friends became enemies. The thing Adi and I have most in common is our love for our mothers and children. Never thought I would meet another individual who loved his children as much as I do. So it was easy for us to get along and talk to others about them. I remember him calling me about 2 a.m. one morning saying that he had walked into the kids' room and saw a channel that showed cartoons most of the day, showing an adult themed cartoons during late night and how he craved them, waking up and seeing it. He then reminded me to not let my children watch the channel. In the summer, he complained that his schedule was not giving him enough time to spend with the kids. He wanted us to take both our children to tracks and records, but changed his mind about his vacation at RIU because the crowd would not allow him to get time with his family. I remember him taking the time to encourage Michael Jr. to do well in school on his birthday and making a special birthday video for care. And most of all, I remember him being the first person to call me when my mother would have surgery. In fact, he encouraged me to take a break from us writing so that I could be with them. That's why this book is here. The desire for a talented DJ to speak to his ghetto people in a way no one has ever spoken to them. An equal desire for one who grew up humble but has had the privilege of the best in life to speak on behalf of those who were from where we came. Behalf of those from where we came. Okay, so the obvious question, how does a Garvey deal with the bleaching? Adi is one of the most black conscious person I know, and through co-writing this book, I learned a lot about race, relations, and the history of racism in Jamaica from Adi. He will forever be upset with me for what I'm about to disclose, but Adi is one of those people who knows natural psychology. That is, he knows how to use his art as Vybz Kartel to get into the minds of people. Adi knew that Vybz Kartel's bleaching would bring to the forefront the biggest discussions on race relations that we ever had in Jamaica. In fact, after 100 years of people bleaching, there's now a television ad on TV that is anti-bleaching. There have been more cars, more roundtable talk, more discussion on black pride since Adi bleached. To Adi, I would like to say, mission accomplished. You sang the song, Where is the Love for the Black Child? So many times and no one listened. Now you have the whole world talking about black pride. Congratulations. Adi, though you have waited patiently, you won't be at the launch. You won't be there to see the little kids reading our book and learning to speak up for themselves. You never got a chance to get to the Gaza Education and Literacy Program, GEL, or Teresa Palmer Computer Center that we're planning on the ground. But finally, Babylon is going to hear you loud and clear. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to join you as we speak on behalf of our people. Hopefully after this, ghetto people will feel that there is always someone willing to speak up for them regardless of their circumstances. See you soon, my friend. See you soon. I will always listen to Bob Marley's Ducky Conquer and vision there are better days coming for you. We will soon forward to the little spot on Hope Road, eat our food, and have a reason. May Jaja bless and keep you until we link again.
That's what she need, you know. I beat her food and she smile tomorrow, but don't know when I will see. Rest her head for her bed. But she know she cried, cause she can't take the pressure no more. She says she feel like pack up all the things there and run away to a place where there is love. Tell her you love her and you feel rub her. Not just the night time, anytime at the right time. Dinner by candlelight, white wine before the right wine. Okay, your woman ya beat up and a ill treat. You buy the mansion where carpet king size bed with queen sheet. Give her the world and pay the bill fee, and I wonder why she still cheat.